Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Secret Realm Strategy. Who says the danger of Type Moon is extremely low? Bai Yu has traveled through. This world has an existence called the Secret Realm. The Secret Realm will randomly select the selected person, enter the Secret Realm, and then survive. The danger of Xingyue Secret Realm is extremely low, and those who die are unlucky enough to encounter gas explosions. The Dragon Clan's Secret Realm has nothing to do with dragons. Only the underworld is merging. What are these all about? Bai Yu was selected by the Type Moon Secret Realm, however, he inherited his game save. The one-armed ninja who never dies, the immortal who yearns for afterglow, the hunter who hunts down the ancient dragon, and the king who repairs the law in the battle of the Holy Grail, wield the Undead Slash and ignite the fire of the Shura. Who the hell is called Jin Shanshan? Come out. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 3. Unknown Servants Forgetting the Past. You are listening at novelfull.audio. To die in a secret realm, there is a high probability that one will also die in reality. This is the information he received. In this secret realm, Bai Yu has now become a hero. Unless he can fight all the way to the end and obtain the Holy Grail, he will never be able to survive. But when he saw Yen Fengili, he knew how terrifying the Holy Grail battle was. Knight King Eltolia Pandragon, Conqueror King Iskandar, Ancient Hero King Gilgamesh, Round Table Knight Lancelot Crazy. Let's not talk about the remaining few for now. Just look at these four, they can almost be said to be at the top level of difficulty. Bai Yu expressed doubts about whether he could survive. At present, Yen Fengqi's ritual is only to spiritualize him and be wary of those external lords. And the information of the remaining lords has already been shown to him. It's not much different from what I remember. Until one evening, a stranger visitor arrived at the church. This is a middle-aged man wearing a red suit. There is a delicate beard on the chin. In words and actions, there is an indescribable elegance. Teacher, the ceremony is ready and I have successfully summoned assassin. However, the other party does not remember their past as heroes and has no desire for the Holy Grail. After hearing the words of disciple Yen Fengqili, Yuan Saka Shurchen looked at Bai Yu, whose figure had already appeared. Really? From the perspective of weapons, it should be the local spirit of Sakura. As for his treasure, I have never heard of such a presence in history or legend. After hearing Yen Fengqili's description of Bai Yu's treasure, even Yuan Saka Shurchen was somewhat surprised. A follower who can't recall any of their past, has no name, and doesn't even know it. Then he looked at his disciple and said, "It matches you very well, Qili. Yen Fengqili is also a similar person. Alright, it's almost time to summon, Shurchen." At this moment, Yen Fengli was speaking. The three of them walked into the basement together. Bai Yu is monitoring the surroundings above the church to prevent accidents from occurring. Shortly thereafter, a powerful momentum erupted from the basement. Hegemony, ancient. Bai Yu knew that the hero king had been summoned. The oldest fat tiger of humanity, shimmering with gold, Gilgamesh. Just as Bai Yu was about to leave the roof, a golden ripple appeared in mid-air. Seeing this scene, Bai Yu suddenly became alert. Golden ripples, spatial fluctuations. This is clearly the king's treasure of the hero King Gilgamesh. Quickly, the blade slowly emerged from the golden ripples. Point directly at Bai Yu. This is an attack. In the treasury of Gilgamesh, there are prototypes of all treasures. Therefore, he can freely use this method to project treasures from the treasure trove. But did Yen Fengqili not tell the other party that he was an ally? Amidst the golden ripples, an unknown level of treasure quickly shot towards Bai Yu. Bai Yu didn't even have time to react. Ding! At some point, an extra knife appeared in Bai Yu's hand. Wedge pill. The treasures projected from the treasure trove were ejected onto the nearby ground. In the sky, the wine-red pupils looked towards Bai Yu from a height. The blond man looked down contemptuously at Bai Yu. The golden armor on his body is extremely dazzling. Being able to withstand my king's blow, miscellaneous cultivator, you have the qualification to meet my king. Gilgamesh said condescendingly. No one can stand above me. I forgive your previous violation for now. Extremely proud, arrogant, and arrogant. This is the ancient hero king, Gilgamesh, who possesses a treasure trove of all the treasures in the world, and even the prototypes of heroic artifacts are collected within it. The weapon thrown casually from the treasure trove is the level of treasure. This is Gilgamesh's confidence. But Bai Yu was in shock, and even he himself didn't react to the blow just now. The body's instincts react faster than its consciousness. Intrinsic skills. I flow, Wolliu. A ninja named Wolf, who combines various genres of martial arts such as Wei Ming Lu, Wei Mingwuxin, Xianfeng Temple Fist, and Ninja Righteous Hands during battles, forming Wolliu, which is the pinnacle of mortal skills. Gilgamesh collected the ejected treasure back into the treasure trove. His strike just now had no intention of probing. Even if this unknown hero is likely to die in this blow. He is a lonely king who doesn't need any allies, even if there is only one person, he can still fight through the entire Holy Grail war alone. Gilgamesh saw Bai Yu's gaze and his tone was even more disdainful. However, as a follower, it is like a puppet, and such miscellaneous cultivation is not worthy of entering the king's sight. Wang, please allow me to say a word for my disciples' followers. Yuansika Shurchen said on the side. Say. This hero, he has forgotten his past as a hero. No wonder it's just a fake spirit. Humph, I hope there will be a spirit worthy of my king's intervention in this Holy Grail battle. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Observational parties. You are listening at novel full.audio. Assassin, continue to observe and be alert to potential followers. After hearing Yan Fengili's words, Bai Yu continued to stand high and looked at Lancer on the ground. Due to the inherent aura of Assassin's job description, he is not worried that the other party will discover his whereabouts. As expected, Lancer de Ludo showcases his aura here and invites all his followers to battle. As for Lord Kenneth, he should be hiding at this moment. In fact, it is rare for battles to occur directly without understanding the information of the followers. De Ludo's invitation to battle is essentially a strategy. The key point lies in the two guns in his hand. These two guns are his treasures. The red rose that breaks the demon, the yellow rose that will surely be destroyed. There are two long spears, one in red and the other in yellow. Red roses can break the defense formed by magic and enhance magic applied to weapons. The damage caused by the yellow rose cannot be restored using any healing magic or regeneration ability, and can only be maintained until the inevitable yellow rose is destroyed or Lancer himself is eliminated. But the yellow rose can be resisted by defense or armor. If you don't understand the characteristics of Lancer's two treasures. So, after realizing the demonic nature of the red rose, there is naturally no need to continue maintaining magical defense. In the upcoming battle, one will inevitably be defeated by the inevitable yellow rose. It is very cost-effective to first eliminate an enemy with strong frontal combat capabilities when all followers do not understand each other. This is the plan of Kenneth and Lancer. Being the first to showcase one's own aura in an invitation to battle, those who can be invited in this way are naturally strong individuals who are extremely confident in their own strength. Take advantage of the information gap to prematurely eliminate an opponent, or even directly eliminate them. Combat. Looking at Lancer below, Bai Yu knew his true identity as a powerful mythological hero. What he lacks now is combat experience. Familiarize yourself with your skills. If in the current situation, there must have been several followers and lords looking towards this place. This battle is destined to have no real life or death. Unless there is a significant disparity in strength, the outcome has already been determined before other followers decide to step down. Deludo stood there, holding 2 guns and looking at the incoming person. Good time. I swaggered around this city all day, but no one was willing to show their face. The only strong person who accepted my invitation was you. Without any breath, it seems to blend in with the surrounding environment, and the swordsmen of the East pursue this realm called harmony between heaven and man. Entering the pinnacle of swordsmanship as a mortal, you must have been a famous swordsman in history, Saber. Deludo looked at the figure walking out of the darkness and said with great regret. Unfortunately, I didn't come to this world with the saber rank this time. Otherwise, I would be willing to spar. Deludo waved his 2 guns in his hand, pointing them straight at the opponent. So, let's fight. It's a disappointing constraint to exchange names with opponents who are about to fight to the death, even if they can't achieve it. The figure across from him remained silent and took out his weapon, gripping it tightly with both hands. On the Dongmu Bridge. Rider. Why are we here? Hurry up and get down. Get down from here. Weber was almost lying on the bridge. The howling wind kept blowing his hair. Below are cars shuttling back and forth one after another. Rider, Iskandar took a sip of wine and looked at his lord indifferently. What are you saying? Isn't this place perfect for surveillance? I have to go down. I can't stand it anymore. You're such a restless guy. Watching it change is also part of the battle. Rider looked into the distance, in the direction of the one who revealed his own aura. I've said it all, don't be so impatient. Look, the situation is finally about to change. Ha ha ha. I'm getting excited. Wei Gongqie, known as the Magician Killer, and his assistant Mamie also came to the vicinity. There is a barrier set up by a magician near here. Ordinary people cannot come to this vicinity. The matter of a magician does not require ordinary people to understand it so clearly. Wumi, you go around the East Pier while I walk on the west side to find a location that can simultaneously monitor both sides' followers' battles and the gantry crane. Okay. After Wumi finished speaking, she quickly left. Wei Gongqie stands still. The Night King is Saber, so what is the rank of this swordsman who appears to be from the local history of Sakura? Saber and Alice Phil's figures arrived late. After seeing the 2 figures of the battle, Saber took the initiative to stand in front. Ellie, be careful. If there are no lords or followers around, it's definitely not just us. The Church of the Holy See. Assassin. What the hell are you going to do? Yanfeng Chili had already withdrawn his gaze, and the battle between them was not something he could observe. Chili, are you saying that assassin has started a battle with the suspected Lancer follower? Yes, teacher. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. The Invitation of the First Servant. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The country where Chia Si was born. Alice took a deep breath of the surrounding air, exclaimed with emotion, and then turned to look at the men's beauty behind her. Saber, did you have any thoughts on this air trip? Saber looked at Dongmu in the distance and calmly said. There is no special feeling, much more mundane than imagined. Is it because after becoming a hero, it's not surprising to fly in the sky? That's not the case. When I come into this world, I will be endowed with worldly knowledge. I can control anything that can be ridden, including this machine called an airplane. As long as you step onto the saddle and hold the reins in your hand, the rest is all you need to rely on intuition. Alice Phil lowered her head and laughed. Speaking of which, you may be the only follower who rides an airplane in a physical state. Sorry, It's all because I can't spiritualize. Don't worry, I didn't mean that. It's because. If you keep doing this, I'll have more fun picking clothes for you. Alice Phil said slightly playfully. At this moment, she was more like a little girl who had just entered the secular world. Full of curiosity about everything. Shouldn't Xie have already arrived here? Yes, he arrived half a day earlier than us. But don't worry, he will come and find us. This is the plan set by the magician killer, Wei Gongqie. In this Holy Grail battle, the battles between followers are often difficult to determine the winner. Unless it is a significant disparity in strength. But the lords next to these followers are magicians one by one. As a magician killer, he is most familiar with this type of person. They are like corrupt and conservative nobles. I have no knowledge of the lethality of modern weapons and am unwilling to learn about them. Therefore, Wei Gongqie believes that the most effective way of fighting in the Holy Grail is to kill the opponent's lord. As long as you kill the lord, the followers will also quickly exit. This is his plan. Let Saber and Alice Phil act together, so that the enemies will think that the lord of the Ainsbellen family is this artificial person. And the true lord, the magician assassin Wei Gongqie, can hide in the darkness and take action against those hostile lords. Meanwhile, Alice Phil also had the sword sheath of the Night King, Avalon, inside her body. Beside the Night King, Avalon will provide strong vitality to ensure that Alice Field will not die from the ambush of other followers. From a preparation perspective alone, the plan of cutting off the heir to the palace can be said to be foolproof. Alice Phil sat in the car, looking at the scenery on the street. It's not easy to come and enjoy the cherry blossoms before the war starts. This is very dangerous. Saber reminded. We should first find a place as a stronghold, meet with Xie, and make a plan. You're right, but isn't this too wasteful? Alice Phil said, her eyes fixed on the street outside the car window. I finally came to such a country, and Alice Phil said, feeling a bit embarrassed. In fact, this is my first time coming out. It's my first time coming to the outside world. So far, has your life been spent in that castle? After all, I am a doll made for the Holy Grail War. Previously, I used to learn about the outside world through photos, movies, and descriptions by Xie, but it was still my first time actually coming outside. Sorry, I was a bit too excited. After hearing Alice Phil's confession, Saber said to the doll in the driver's seat. Please stop the car. Then, he opened the door and got off the car, coming to Alice's side. Although it's my first time walking in this city, it's a knight's duty to guide the lady. I will do my best, please. Saber said, took off his gloves and extended the invitation's right hand to Alice Phil in the car. Your Majesty, there has been abnormal movement on Warehouse Street near the mouth of the river. What? An unknown follower appears here, revealing its own aura, equivalent to exposing its position to all followers' eyes. So what do you think his purpose is? Inviting a battle. The Holy Grail War is actually an information war. If we can know the true name of the enemy's followers in advance, we can find the corresponding great achievements of the enemy in history. So as to prevent or target the opponent's abilities or treasures. Unless it's someone with particularly strong hard power. There are no well-targeted weaknesses, only then can one show their whereabouts without any trace like this. The unknown servant in Yanfeng Chili's mouth is like this. Showcasing one's own aura recklessly and actively exposing oneself to everyone. Rather than being arrogant, it is more about having strong confidence in one's own strength. No matter what enemy may appear, they have the courage to fight against it. The Lord can observe the situation on sight through the eyes of the followers. Yen Fengili noticed that the unknown servant was holding two long spears. That is to say, the corresponding job referral for the other party is Lancer. P.S. Thank you for the flowers and rewards Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Understanding. Your posture is full. You are listening at novel full.audio. Forgetting one's own past but having a strong interest in combat. Interestingly, in history, there should not be no record of such a swordsman being. The first thing that Yuan Saka Shurchen suspected was the extremely famous Musashi Miyamoto, who created the second class. Assassin's identity is likely related to someone else. Because he had noticed that assassin had 2 knives on his body. When it comes to Xuangdao, the first thing that comes to mind is this swordsman. Or someone related to it. But in Gilgamesh's attack, the opponent never drew his sword. It has once again raised suspicions among Yuan Saka Shurchen. Ding! Ding! Dang! The crisp sound of weapon collisions kept coming from the battlefield. If you observe this battlefield carefully, you can discover it. Every time Lancer's spear tip is about to attack the opponent, it is always bounced open by the sword in their hand. At the moment of bouncing, the opponent will use their strength to return to their original posture. Then he bounced off his next attack. Even if Lancer attacks at a fast speed, he cannot harm the opponent. At this moment, in Bai Yu's eyes, a presence resembling a posture bar in a game appeared above Lancer's head. With every perfect block he makes, the posture bar on the other person will increase slightly. Bai Yu was also curious. If it were full, would it be the same as in the game that he would endure to kill? In the continuous battle between the two, Bai Yu became more proficient in every block. Even many opportunities for counterattacks were discovered. But out of caution, he did not launch an attack. But waiting for the posture bar on Lancer's head to fill up. I am truly a swordsman, who was able to proactively recognize the flaws I deliberately left behind. Although there is no honor in unnamed battles, being able to defend my attacks without any leakage can be considered the pinnacle of mortals. But Saber, is your swordsmanship only about defense? As a swordsman, don't you have any desire to attack? I can feel that you have been restraining yourself. Does your attack reveal your true name? Saber. Bai Yu did not answer the other party's question, anyway he is not Saber. If he was misunderstood by the other party, he might have misunderstood. At this moment, a voice came from all directions. That's all for the game, Lancer. Don't let the battle drag on any longer. That Saber is a formidable enemy, allowing you to reveal your treasures. I understand, my lord. Lancer said and threw the short gun onto the ground. On top of the other spear, the cover made with magic dissipated completely. A full-length red spear. At the same time, his aura was even stronger than before. Breaking the demon red rose. Bai Yu silently recited in his heart, while also being wary of the position where the other party would drop the inevitable yellow rose. In the original plot, Deludo relied on this information gap to deceive Altolia, who was a saber. How could Bai Yu ignore this now? Did you hear that? Next, I will do my best. Saber, if you don't use your martial arts anymore, then there will be no chance. Lancer Deludo has an agility of B+, in other words, he can double his speed when in an explosive state. In this moment, Deludo's figure disappeared. Bai Yu instinctively blocked the wedge pill in front of him. Bai Yu, who had originally adapted to the opponent's attack rhythm, was caught off guard in this attack and was unable to withstand it at all. The power brought by the sprint made him take several steps back before finally releasing such power. Just like this, can't we resist it anymore, Saber? So, the head on your neck is mine. Deludo's voice fell and his figure disappeared once again. This time, Bai Yu's body's instincts were the first to react. See through. Perception. The ninja's eyes can capture the opponent's thrusting movements, step on the enemy's blade, and thus turn into a counterattack. When Deludo's sudden thrust was about to hit Bai Yu's body with the tip of his gun, the opponent seemed to have anticipated it in advance, and his body underwent a strange twist. I managed to dodge his piercing shot. And, one foot stepped straight on the tip of his gun. The tip of the gun falls to the ground. At this moment, Bai Yu finally waited. At the moment when Lancer successfully identified the situation, the posture bar above his head suddenly increased. At the same time, a crimson dot also appeared on his body. This time, without any hesitation, Bai Yu waved the wedge ball in his hand and chose to stab at the crimson dot directly. Wumi, in the northeast direction of the battle between the two followers, there is an Imperial Lord standing on the roof of the warehouse. Can you see it? Wei Gongqie used an infrared scope and discovered the figure of an Imperial Lord. No, from my position it seems like a dead end. I am currently searching for the position of another lord. Got it, then I'll take care of this. You keep it hidden and continue searching. Okay. After Wei Gongqie finished speaking, his sniper rifle aimed at the head of the figure on the roof. Pull the trigger in your hand. P.S. Thank you for the monthly pass Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Only in this way can we conquer. You are listening at novel full.audio. Bai Yu responded. Give it your all, Lancer. As you wish. Ellie, those two servants are going to decide the winner. Saber said seriously. If this happens, our enemy will also be reduced by one, right? Indeed, that's true. If one side wins miserably or both sides lose evenly, Saber has no doubt that her lord will directly order her to take action. It seems that the battle is about to end. On the Dongmu Bridge, Ryder looked at the situation in the distance and said so. Isn't that good? Whether it's either one of us reducing staff or both of them losing, we can take this opportunity to eliminate at least one opponent. Weber still lay there and said. Fool, what are you talking about? My original plan was to wait for a few more people to come out before taking action, but if it continues like this, there is a high possibility of one death and one injury. That's too late. This outcome is unacceptable to him as the conqueror. Isn't your plan to wait for both of them to suffer losses and then reap the benefits? Ryder looked at Weber. Indeed, I have anticipated whether there will be other followers who will accept Lancer's provocation and appear. This is natural, isn't it? It's obviously faster to clean up together than to go looking for them one by one. Together. Clean up. Weber clearly couldn't understand the followers' thoughts. Not bad. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to compete with heroes from different eras. And there are only 6 at once, so we can't miss any of them, can we? For example, Lancer and Saber in front of us, they are both passionate husbands. Lancer, who actively reveals his body and invites all his followers to battle, even though he has forgotten the past and his skills are no longer at their peak, he still chooses to fight and hone himself in the battle, Saber. It's a pity for anyone to die here. Ryder said with satisfaction. Don't let them die. What are you doing? The Holy Grail War is all about killing each other. Before Weber could finish speaking, Ryder had already arrived in front of him, and a flick of his finger hit his forehead, causing him to shut his mouth. Victory without annihilation. Domination without humiliation. This is the true conquest. This is the conquest of Iskandar, the conqueror king. Ryder said, pulling out his long sword from his waist and swiping it towards the sky. Amidst lightning and thunder, the divine cow appeared in front of them with its chariot. Let's go over too, kid. Fools, fools. Going through like this is simply nonsense. Weber looked around at the thunder and lightning, almost crying. If you don't like it, how about staying here and watching the battle? I'm going, take me with you, idiot. You are truly my lord. Ha ha ha. The two guns kept colliding with the wedges. The crisp and powerful metallic hum kept ringing. Saber, there's also a knife behind you, aren't you planning to use it yet? During the gap between battles, Lancer asked this question. Is it because the battle between you and me is not enough for you to use that knife? Even when facing me who is determined to kill you, are you unwilling to use all your strength? What a great pride. No, Bai Yu's words have not been finished yet, and the yellow rose that must be destroyed has already taken action. Stabbed towards Bai Yu's arm. Just as Lancer was about to succeed. The tip of the gun is almost hitting Bai Yu's arm. At this moment, Bai Yu suddenly disappeared. There is only a black feather left in the air. Slowly falling towards the ground. The blow of the yellow rose, which is bound to be destroyed, fell flat. Those black feathers were also disturbed by this blow and fell down. How could Lancer frown? How could it suddenly disappear? Not right. Head up. The red rose of breaking the demon instantly spikes upwards. The same escape method cannot be effective against me again. Saber. Faced with the red rose of breaking the demon, the white feathers in the air began to spin like dancing. Ding. Dang. Secret tail. Sakura dance. The moves of attacking and defending in the air, dancing with a rotating motion, are as beautiful as cherry blossoms falling. Although this is a secret move of Balu, he once presented it as a dance for his own master. The day of cherry blossoms is approaching. Since you can't return home, at least please enjoy the dance with 2 slashes. Lancer's attack was instantly resolved. Immediately after, Bai Yu's figure fell to the ground. This time, he chose to take the initiative. The vacuum waves around him actively formed sword energy as Bai Yu swung his sword, surrounding him. Secret tail. Flying across the whirlpool cloud. Similarly inherited from the samurai from the Source Palace, it is a genre move that can roll up vacuum waves. In the distant distance, in the direction where the source water flows out, a huge vortex cloud can be seen. That is the vortex of the source, which is also the name of this move. Looking at the vortex of the source, my lord, that small figure is everything to Ba. The sword energy formed by the vacuum wave continuously surrounds and shoots around Bai Yu. Lancer naturally cannot forcefully engage, avoiding the wedge pill in Bai Yu's hand while also paying attention to the sword energy around him. He must ensure his condition. At this moment, the surroundings there must have been many other followers already. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. How did I become a follower? You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In the darkness, Bai Yu faintly heard a murmur. Ninjas who cut off immortality, immortals who carry the initial fire, heroes who walk in Hailaru, and kings who restore the law. Subsequently, the murmuring voice gradually disappeared. Then another magnetic sound sounded. Announce. Listen to my command is with your sword. At the call of the Holy Grail. You, as the 7 days of entanglement with the 3 great spirits, come from the wheel of inhibition and the guardian of the Libra. Afterwards, Bai Yu felt his body. Some new information appeared in his mind. The information of this era, as well as the specific beginning and end of the Holy Grail War. Wait. Isn't this world a low-risk world? Why is it a type moon world? For the moon world, Bai Yu only learned a little from games and anime. This kind of world cannot be considered a safe world. Although magicians generally avoid being seen by ordinary people, it is not easy to be an ordinary person in the world of the moon. In the world of Xingyue, the vitality of ordinary people can supplement the magic of followers. From this perspective alone, the danger level is simply overwhelming. And Bai Yu became a follower and directly joined the Holy Grail battle. The Holy Grail War is a war between the servants summoned by the 7 lords. The Lord summons his followers and competes with other lords for an existence called the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is said to fulfill all wishes. Those spirits who ascend to the Hall of Heroes with regret can choose to respond to the Lord's call, become followers, and compete for the Holy Grail to fulfill their wishes. Because the complete heroes were too powerful, they were divided into 7 job positions to participate in the Holy Grail war with some abilities. Saber, sword level, lancer, spear level, archer, bow level, rider, cavalry level, caster, magic level, assassin, killing level, berserker, madness level. After becoming followers, the heroes will be infused with corresponding knowledge and common sense of this era. But Bai Yu never understood why he became a follower. This is a basement. Under the dim light, Bai Yu could still see everything inside the basement clearly. Including the man in front of me. There are 3 red marks on the back of the hand, known as a curse. Each stroke of the mantra signifies a mandatory command. It is difficult for followers to violate. Of course, if it's not a command but an auxiliary instruction, it would be even more useful. For example, making the follower appear by their side from afar, making the follower instantly full of magic, and so on. The man in front of me is the Lord of Bai Yu. Tall and sturdy, dressed in the attire of a church priest. There is a hint of plainness and indifference in the eyes. After seeing Bai Yu's appearance, he just let out a simple sigh. Isn't it Hassan? Generally speaking, the majority of the spirits summoned by assassin job positions should be Hassan. And the hero in front of me is clearly not Hassan. Wearing a simple yellow shirt. There is no mask, and there are white marks on the left half of the face. The left hand, like a mechanism, carries a knife behind his back and also carries a knife around his waist. It is obvious that it is the local spirit of cherry blossoms. Just in his impression, there has never been such a heroic spirit in history. The unnamed assassin, summoned by the Holy Grail. Bai Yu spoke up first. Even the Holy Grail could not provide information on the spirit to which he belonged at this time. The unnamed assassin. Have you even forgotten your own name? Yanfeng Chili looked at the hero in front of her and asked. Yes, I never remember my own name or the past of a heroic spirit. Upon hearing the narration of the heroic spirit in front of her, there were some small ripples in Yanfeng Chili's eyes. So what about your abilities and treasures? Yanfeng Chili realized that although he was the Imperial Lord, he couldn't see the specific ability value of the assassin in front of him. Perhaps it's because assassin's job description is overshadowed. Strength. D. Durability. C. Agility. B+, Magic. D. Luck. B. After hearing Yanfeng Chili's words, Bai Yu displayed his abilities within the observable range of the Imperial Master. My treasure, named Dragon. False Immortal, has the effect of being able to resurrect from death when suffering fatal damage in a short period of time, requiring a significant amount of magic. I understand. My name is Yanfeng Chili, and I am your lord. Assassin, even though you have forgotten your past as a hero, do you have any wishes? My wish. I don't know, I think it shouldn't be there. I see, let me tell you one thing in advance. In this Holy Grail war, I will form an alliance with my teacher, who will be another lord, and we will assist him in obtaining the final Holy Grail. I know now, I don't have any greedy thoughts about the Holy Grail. So assassin, enter spiritualization. For the next period of time, your only task is to monitor the entire city of Winter Wood until all followers come. Yes, your majesty. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Are you willing to be my subjects? You are listening at novel full.audio. After a single blow, Lancer quickly retreated. Bai Yu interrupted the flying vortex cloud. The sword energy around suddenly dissipated into the air. Is this your magic? Saber. Lancer looked at Bai Yu and asked. Magic. Should be a move. Is it a move? Such martial arts, ha ha ha. If it weren't for the Holy Grail War, I would definitely be very happy. But I have a reason to have to win for the Lord. At this moment, a thunderbolt fell on the empty space between the two. Ryder drove his own tank and landed in the center of the two. Saber, there's a follower appearing again. This should be Ryder, right? Alice Phil looked at this scene and asked Saber. Well, so. The swordsman who fought Lancer before should be assassin. Even Saber said uncertain at this moment. Is it assassin who can fight Lancer to such an intense extent? But the nameless follower who forgets himself seems to be assassin. Now, are we going to start the final battle in advance? Alice Phil asked with some concern. Currently, including Saber, 4 riders have appeared here. On the ox cart, the red-haired man opened his arms. Both sides withdraw their swords. Before the king drives, do not be impolite. My name is Conquer King Iskandar, and I have descended into the world with the rider rank in this Holy Grail War. As soon as Ryder spoke, everyone present, including his Lord Weber, looked at him with extreme surprise. The Holy Grail War, how could it be so reckless? Just report your home as soon as you come up. Weber doesn't believe it. The remaining lords who didn't show up didn't send any demons or other agents to monitor this place. Ryder's direct self-destruction is equivalent to informing all enemies of his own information. What the hell are you thinking? You idiot. Weber, who couldn't understand, suddenly broke through the defense. Ryder flicked his finger, and Weberton covered his forehead and remained silent. Conquering King, Iskandar looked at Lancer and Bai Yu and said. Although fate has made me compete with you for the Holy Grail, I would like to ask you one thing first. Would you be willing to join me and give me the Holy Grail? If that's the case, I will treat you as friends. Share with you the joy of conquering the world. After hearing these words, Lancer closed his eyes and shook his head. When he descended into the world, among the knowledge bestowed upon him was the story of the Conqueror King, Alexander the Great. But he never expected that the other party would face the battle and persuade surrender like this. So he smiled and said, I will offer the Holy Grail only to the new lord who has made a contract in this life. It is not you. Ryder. You are truly a loyal knight, and what about you? Forgetting your own swordsman, will you be loyal to me? I don't know, according to the rules of the Holy Grail, followers cannot be loyal to another follower, right? You don't have a curse in your hand, and my magic isn't really that good. I see, it seems that the negotiations have broken down. It's a bit regrettable. Ryder said with a hint of regret. Ryder, what a fool. So it's you. I was still thinking about what kind of madness you went through, stealing my holy relics. I didn't expect you to want to participate in the Holy Grail War on your own. Weber Vilvet. Kenneth's voice rang out. At the same time, the moon spirit marrow liquid carried him step by step and came behind Lancer. For you, I will give you a special extracurricular tutoring. What is the mutual slaughter among magicians? And let me impart to you the terror and pain without reservation. You should feel honored. Weber Wilwitt classmate. Upon hearing Kenneth's voice, Weber seemed to recall that his confident paper had been criticized for being worthless. Fear began to envelop. At this moment, Iskandar's warm palm patted his shoulder. Hello. Magician. Listen to what you mean, you originally wanted to replace this kid as my lord. If that's the case, it's really funny. The person who becomes my lord must be a warrior who gallops on the battlefield with me. Upon hearing these words, a different kind of warmth appeared in Weber's heart. The cowardly ones who have been hidden from the beginning are not qualified enough. Ha ha ha. There are others here too. Those guys hidden in the darkness peeping. I am not the only hero who has witnessed such a thrilling battle and was attracted by the clear sound of sword blades clash. The spirits summoned by the Holy Grail, come and gather here now. Cowards who are afraid to show their faces will be despised by the conquering King Iskandar. The provocation of conquering King Iskandar, although very low level, was very successful. Ellie, follow behind me. Saber said to Alice Phil. Two figures walked towards this place. Oh. Female heroes. Do you want to join me? Absolutely impossible. Conquer the king, I am the king of Britain. Even if you are the emperor, I cannot submit to you. Saber looked at Ryder with a determined expression and said. It's really surprising that he is the king of Britain. I didn't expect that ignoring my existence, the self-proclaimed King Rat generation would run out too in one night. A golden figure stood on the street lamp. P.S. Thank you and hope. Rewards and reminders that do not exist cannot be written today, but will be added tomorrow. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Kenneth. There are too few local magicians. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sting it out. DeLudo's first reaction was to turn from a stab to a sweep, forcing the opponent to defend. Because this shot actually pierced the air, it indicates that the opponent has become accustomed to the speed of his burst. Can see through this blow. So next, what the other party should do is to counterattack. The current DeLudo is no longer able to defend, so he can only attack the opponent to make him unable to attack himself. From thinking to making decisions, these thoughts instantly formed in DeLudo's mind. But when he wanted to wave the red rose of breaking the demon, one foot stepped down like this. Stepped straight on the tip of his gun. DeLudo never expected that the other party would be so bold. However, at this moment, DeLudo suddenly felt a special force burst out of his body. This is magic. Impossible. When did the other party release the magic? I have been using the demon-breaking red rose to fight against him all along. The red rose of breaking demons can destroy the strengthening effect attached to weapons, but it has no effect on the magic that has already been formed. That is to say, is this the magic that the other party has already applied? But reality doesn't have time to make DeLudo think more. Because he can now feel a chill piercing his left shoulder. This is where the opponent is going to attack. Bang! At this moment, a gunshot rang out. Scarlet blood fell to the ground. Bai Yu looked around. What about people? So why did the older person disappear? His knife pierced Lancer's body, and this can be confirmed by Bai Yu. But just as the tip of the knife penetrated, Lancer's figure disappeared without a trace. There is only a small pool of blood left on the ground. Lord! Although DeLudo was stabbed by Bai Yu, fortunately his injury was not serious. Because at the moment when Bai Yu stabbed the blade into his body, he was already summoned to his side by his lord using a curse. Kenneth's face was also very ugly. Beside him, there was a liquid floating like mercury. This is Kenneth's magic costume. Moon Spirit Marrow Liquid. Lancer, be careful around. There's a despicable guy hiding around who wants to use mortal firearms to attack me. Suspected to be the lord of this saber. Yes. DeLudo held two guns and looked around cautiously. You're injured, Lancer. Please forgive me for not being able to bring victory to you, my lord. The enemy should be a powerful ninja with considerable expertise in swordsmanship. I don't need to listen to your explanation, Lancer. Find the lord who stole the attack. The attacker's attack just now came from that direction. Just as Kenneth's words fell, DeLudo had already taken action. The long gun in hand was thrown towards the direction of the bullet. The building on the roof was damaged. But I didn't see anyone's figure. Wei Gonkieshi has already left there. Wu Mi, the plan has failed. Let's retreat first. Wei Gongqie said. He didn't expect that the other party would always be in a state of maintaining their magic costume. His bullet was blocked by the magical gift that resembled mercury. If it's the origin bomb, it seems that Kenneth is more cautious than those traditional magicians. From the perspective of the audience's vision and hearing, basically everything that happens on Kenneth's side is heard by Saber and Alice Field. Is that person Xie? Saber frowned slightly and said. She doesn't like such sneak attacks. As the Night King, what she has always longed for is a dignified battle. Just like Lancer and the unknown follower in front of him, determine the winner in a frontal battle. If he can achieve his goal, he will definitely do it. Alice Phil said. Lancer, kill that Saber for me. Kenneth said angrily. He came to the Far East to participate in such a ceremonial war just to improve his resume and add some military achievements. As a genius, he doesn't need to rely on the Holy Grail to achieve anything. Even this time he brought his fiancée A.E. with him. But these despicable Far Eastern participants have completely disregarded the dignity and etiquette of magicians. Use modern weapons for a surprise attack. As one of the 12 masters of the clock tower in the Magic Society, Kenneth is now extremely angry. Lancer. Use the treasure and kill that guy. Yes, Lord. After Lancer finished speaking, his figure flashed and he appeared again not far from Bai Yu. Saber, as a follower, I cannot make too much evaluation of the relationship between the lords. No matter what your lord does, I always recognize your reputation as a swordsman. Besides, you seem to be proficient in your own skills, right? DeLudo could clearly perceive that Saber's martial arts skills were constantly improving when he faced him. That's right, I forgot about my past. Is that right? As a heroic spirit, I have lost my own reliance and forgotten my past. So I understand. Next, I will do my best without any hesitation. P.S. Thank you for the monthly pass Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. The Oldest Fat Tiger of Humans. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gilgamesh's arrogance was revealed in this moment. You seem very dissatisfied with this counterfeit. At this moment, Bai Yu, who was standing on the roof of the church, had raised his head and looked straight at Gilgamesh in the air. Why do you have to be attacked by others just by standing here? One gift after another, allowing who hasn't hung up yet. Who allowed you to look directly at me with such eyes? Miscellaneous repairs. Gilgamesh's words fell, and several golden ripples had already appeared in the sky behind him. A large number of treasures have appeared. Wang. Yuansika Shurchen looked at the curse in his hand, and he didn't want the situation of his own camp being downsized before the battle began. He is still considering whether to use a stroke curse at this time to stop Gilgamesh. Although the mantra can command followers, if the followers have high magic power, they can resist the command of the mantra in a short period of time. While Yoshimasa was still hesitating, Gilgamesh's words had already fallen. Meanwhile, the treasures behind him quickly shot towards Bai Yu. Bai Yu held a wedge ball in his hand and nervously looked at the treasures flying towards him. Bai Yu instinctively blocked the wedge ball in his hand in front of him. Ding ding ding, the sound of collision kept ringing out. Gilgamesh shot at Bai Yu's treasure, all of which were deflected to one side by the wedge shot. This also puzzled Gilgamesh. How can a fake that has already forgotten his past withstand so many treasures? Can this be done by an ordinary hero? So that is to say, this inconspicuous spirit in front of us should have achieved astonishing feats in real defense. However, Gilgamesh did not care. No matter how powerful a hero is, he is destined to be his companion. He is the only ancient king of humanity. After a round of treasure projection, Gilgamesh put away his own treasure. Interestingly, I have allowed it, bring more fun to me. After Gilgamesh finished speaking, he directly spiritualized and disappeared. And Bai Yu stood still, slowly retracting the wedge pill. Before tonight, he had never imagined that the battle was just one step away from him. In recent days, Bai Yu has only been trying to spiritualize and manifest his true body. I have never discovered my own strength. Even the inherent skill panel appeared when his body instinctively resisted attacks. Tonight's battle made him understand one thing. He must master power. Otherwise, there will only be a dead end. Just as Yoshimasa summoned Gilgamesh, the remaining lords also began to summon their own spirits. As one of the three royal families, the Ainsbellen family, along with the Osaka family, hired a magician assassin, Omiya Katsuki, as their lord, and summoned Saber, the Night King Eltoria Pandragon. And the other lord of the Yuzan family, the Yutong Knight Wild Goose, summoned Berserker, the insane knight of the Round Table, Lancelot. Conquer King Iskandar, with a job title of Rider, and the lord is Weber who stole the teacher's relics from the clock tower and came to Dongmu. The location of the Holy Grail War is within the city of Dongmu. All the lords who have summoned their followers must come to the city of Dongmu and engage in the final battle. The intensity of the opponent in this Holy Grail War is not as high as usual. Lancer, a hero in Celtic mythology with a radiant appearance, was one of the monarchs of the clock tower, Kenneth. And the final caster, Gildley, was originally a marshal under Joan of Arc in France, but this time he came under the position of caster to participate in the Battle of the Holy Grail to revive Joan of Arc. The magic book in hand can communicate with evil gods from the deep sea through special rituals. The above is the information of the remaining followers. Either they have strong combat abilities themselves, or they are someone like Castor who relies entirely on summoning the followers of evil gods. Very troublesome. The only ally is still Gilgamesh who just wanted to kill him. Gilgamesh, a unconventional, super-standard follower, cannot be viewed as an ally. And even if we win the final victory, the problem is that the Holy Grail is no longer a universal wishing machine. After the last battle of the Holy Grail had already been contaminated by the evil of this world. Making a wish would not have the possibility of being fulfilled, but would only bring disaster in a distorted way. During the period before the lords arrived at Dongmu City, Bai Yu had been familiarizing himself with his abilities. Now he is like a novice in an online game who owns a big shot account. But I don't know anything about skill mechanisms or damage. Previously, purely relying on instinct in combat. And these days, Bai Yu is constantly familiarizing himself with his inherent skills. His heroic body is the protagonist of a game he played in his past life called Wolf. Shadows twice, a wolf. Whether it is the appearance summoned as a follower or the treasure displayed, it is the same. So what he needs to do is to become familiar with and proficient in this heroic body. And then the plane swept through the air. A white-haired woman and a black-suit men's beauty appeared at the airport. Is this the battlefield of this time, Dongmu City? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 11. Street Lamp King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh no. After hearing Ryder's bold provocation, Varsaka Shurchen had already hinted that something was wrong. He originally wanted Gilgamesh, who was an archer, to be the audience on the side. Due to the magician's character of seeking stability, he naturally wants to collect information about all the lords and followers before attempting to defeat them again. But Ryder's words Yuansaka Shurchen knew that the king, Gilgamesh, could never remain unmoved. His plan needs to make some changes. Gilgamesh stood on the street lamp, looking disdainfully at the crowd. Your words make no sense. I, Iskandar, am known as the Conqueror King. Ryder looked at the sudden appearance of the golden figure. The other person exudes a royal aura. I'm afraid he was also a king of a certain era. Saber hesitated for a moment, but ultimately did not reveal his true name. Although Ryder was the first to self-destruct, she is not such an impulsive person. If she self-destructs her identity at this time, it will be more harmful than beneficial for the future. Jokes, the heroes who truly qualify to be kings, from heaven and earth, are the only ones who can claim to be kings. As for the rest, it's just some mediocre miscellaneous cultivation. Since that's all for now, why don't you mention your name first? Ryder pointed to Gilgamesh and said. You are also a king, can't you dare to declare your name? Ask me. There was a hint of anger in Gilgamesh's tone. Even the street lamp under my feet flickered a few times before being stomped out. Just a little miscellaneous repair. How dare you ask me? Enjoying the honor of being able to visit me, yet daring not to recognize me. Such a foolish person is not worthy of living. Gilgamesh said, with a large number of golden ripples rising behind him. A large number of treasures slowly emerged. Saber quickly stood in front of Alice Field upon seeing this. Lancer did the same, protecting Kenneth behind him. Under the distant shadows. The white-haired Jian Tong Yanyi covered her chest and whispered, "Kill it. Kill that guy." On the field, a black figure emerged. An ominous aura emanated from the whole body. All the armor on his body was enveloped in darkness. Only the eyes revealed a red light. A completely irrational follower. This is Berserker. Hey, Conqueror, won't you invite that guy? Lancer looked at the sudden appearance of Berserker and said to Ryder. Invitation. I don't think there was any room for negotiation with that guy from the beginning. Kid, what kind of powerful servant is that guy? Ryder asked Weber. I don't know, I can't tell at all. I don't know. At least you're also the Emperor, can't you even tell where you're strong or weak? I can't tell, that guy is a follower, but whether it's his state or anything else, I can't tell at all. That spirit seems to have a special ability or curse to hide its own state. Ryder took some time to look at Bai Yu's side. Now the 7 cavalry servants have appeared with 6 cavalries. Apart from Castor, are you Saber, the nameless swordsman? After a moment of silence, Bai Yu said. Assassin. In this way, it makes sense. Ryder said, glanced at Saber again, with a hint of surprise in his eyes, and then continued to look at the unexpected guest. Lancer was a bit surprised. Surprisingly, you are assassin. In that case, the skills of those ninjas make sense. What kind of person would a swordsman with ninja status be? Gilgamesh glanced in his eyes and noticed that Berserker was also looking at him. Who allowed you to look at me? Mad dog. As the words fell, the treasure behind him also aimed at Berserker. At least please me with your dying face, mad dog. Several treasures shot towards Berserker like this. The treasure fell to the ground, splashing a large amount of gravel and smoke. Is that guy really Berserker? Lancer looked in the direction of the smoke and immediately remembered Assassin, who had decent frontal combat abilities, and felt relieved. As an irrational servant, his skills are really impressive. Ryder's tone was also full of praise. Weber looked at the two with a puzzled expression on his face. Didn't you see it? That black berserker easily grabbed the sword that flew first, and then used the sword to shoot the gun at the back. For ordinary people, this is obviously difficult to capture with the naked eye, but for them, it is clear to see. After becoming insane, one can also ensure such powerful martial arts skills. Undoubtedly, it is due to Lancelot's inherent skills and endless martial arts cultivation. Enable him to ignore the negative mental state of madness and fully unleash his unparalleled martial arts skills during his lifetime. How dare you touch my treasure with your dirty hands? Are you in such a hurry to die? Mad dog. As the words fell, more treasures emerged from behind him. Let me see how long you can hold on with your carving skills. More treasures are projected towards Berserker. However, for Lancelot, who has gone crazy, it has no meaning at all. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.